Hey everybody, Glenn here with another episode of, well, I shouldn't say another episode, with Deviation Sports Cards. Today I've got an interesting little video to do. So for those of you that don't remember, I sent in some cards to HGA. I believe it was my third or fourth submission. And when I got them back, my Barry Sanders was damaged pretty badly. You can see in this picture here there was a huge crease right down the side of the card. Clearly, got an 8.5 with a 9 surface, so clearly the crease occurred sometime after the grading process. So basically, I reached out to HGA. I posted a video, and then I also put something up on one of the Facebook groups, and the owner of HGA actually contacted me that evening and apologized for the crease in the card, asked if there was anything he could do to contact your customer service department the next day. So when I woke up the next day, probably around 9-10 o'clock in the morning, I got a text message from his personal assistant or one of his assistants, telling me, to let her know if I had any problems with customer service as far as getting the issue resolved. So that afternoon I called up customer service, and basically we agreed to allow for a submission. So from my perspective, I had sent the card in on a 30-day, which right now is roughly about $35 to send in on that submission level. So I figured if I sent in a replacement card and got it back in a faster turnaround, I believe a 10-day right now is $55. So that's about a $20 delta between what I had already put into the card and what I would be getting in return on a replacement card. So I agreed to do that because the Barry Sanders, again, it's not a super expensive card. It wasn't anything that was held sentimental value to me or anything like that. So I wasn't really, looking to rake these guys over the coals just because they made a mistake. I just wanted it resolved. So basically we agreed that I would send in a card and they would grade it on a faster turnaround for me. Tyler from HGA did reach out to me again to make sure that I was satisfied. I told him what I had agreed to, and he, agreed to make that happen. So essentially, if we look at the turnaround time, you can see that I sent the replacement in on the 19th of June. They received it on the 22nd. It was, put into their system almost immediately. So you can see that I've changed my expected dates from 0 because as HGA has gotten better, they've pretty much eliminated the whole gap between receiving and submission. They enter it in almost exactly the same day they get it. It was only in the grading process for about 3 business days. And then it was shipped back to me, which took about 2 business days to get back. I just got it back today. So overall, from door to door, it was about a 7-day business day transaction. So much better than the 10 days, much better than any 10-day I've experienced with HGA up to this point. So I'm satisfied, at least from a timing perspective, on how quickly they got this card back to me. And I will say that, some people have read posts that I've made on the Facebook group and say, oh, that's not a fair, correction for what happened. And, that's, to each their own. If this thing had sentimental value to me or was, a much more expensive card, they did offer me fair market value for it, which I assume we would have agreed on together. But being that I just wanted to get a card sent in and graded, I didn't even worry about that. And at this point, the $20 difference between the grading is probably realistically about fair market value for an 8.5 graded Barry Sanders. So anyways, that's where we were with this. So I sent this card in. I did kind of scour my collection looking for something good to send in. And I came across a 2018 Illusions acetate card of Baker Mayfield. It was numbered, but I think it was only numbered to 199 or 249 or something like that. So it wasn't really low numbered. But as I was going through it, I haven't submitted any acetate cards yet. So I wanted to give it a shot, and I thought it looked really, really good. So I'm anxious to see what kind of result we get here. So with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what we get. Pardon my cat complaining in the background. She's got an attitude problem. I guess she doesn't want me in here making this video for some reason. Okay, so let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. This is a huge box for one card. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, or maybe they're just trying to make sure it doesn't get damaged. So we've got quite a bit of paper in here. I do not want to see the grade before you guys do. So, and I just did. And, ooh, this is amazing. Okay, guys, so empty box, tons of paper in here. So this is quite exciting because I saw what this got and I thought it was going to get a good grade, but I was not expecting this. So here we go. We got Baker Mayfield 2018 Illusions acetate card. And look at this, guys. Flawless 10. Look at that. Well, let me get the zoom off so everybody can see that thing. Flawless Baker Mayfield 2018 Panini Illusions Illusionist Blue. And this was numbered out of 149, so 98 out of 149. That is beautiful. So I guess I can't really complain too much. I mean, I don't think the 10 flawless grade had anything to do with the fact that this was a replacement card or anything like that. The card was exceptional. Like I said, I was curious to see how an acetate card would grade, and I guess this answers the question. Now, I would say don't go sending every acetate card you have in. These things are highly susceptible to scratches. So I did go over this thing really, really good, and I couldn't find any issue with it, which was why I sent it in, and I guess this confirms what I was thinking. So, wow, I'm beyond satisfied with this grade. Like I said, I don't think the two have anything to do with one another. But I will say, if you look at this card, look at I mean, I've got a lot of cards graded from HGA. Look at this ridge in here. I mean, if you guys can see that, that is much tighter to the card than what I've seen historically on HGA cards. There's a lot of room for these things to move around in there. So it looks like maybe they made some modifications to their cases as well. Let me actually go grab another card that I have back here. Hey, why don't you stop complaining? Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, this is a burrow that I got. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here at the top and a little bit of room on the sides, both sides there. When you compare it to this card, where that thing fits in there almost perfectly, it does look like those raised ridges in there might just be a tad bit thicker than they used to be. Yeah, definitely. So anyways, there you have it, guys. I mean, like I said, overall, take the flawless 10 out of it for a minute. I was really, really satisfied with the response I got. To have the owner of the company actually reach out to me personally and ask if there was anything he could do to resolve the problem, then to have his assistant follow up with me the following day, and then to follow up with me yet again to see if I was satisfied, and then ultimately to get the turnaround thing on this down to even less than 10 days, more than makes up for the Barry Sanders. So as far as take this out of it for a second and just talking about, you know, what kind of response I got to the issue, I would say that I'm more than satisfied with the response that I got, and would have been just as satisfied had this card come back, an 8.5 or a 9, or even whatever it came back at. They upheld their end of the bargain as far as replacement is concerned. So obviously I'm super ecstatic about the grade. I do like the fact that they put this thing in a big box, and you can see here they just stuffed a ton of bubble wrap in there. Obviously, because this is a flawless, probably they wanted to make sure for positive this thing didn't get damaged in transit. So I do appreciate the extra care they took to make sure that that didn't happen. And overall, I'm satisfied. So I think HGA is finally starting to get things straightened out. I mean, they've had a lot of issues, a lot of startup issues. Sometimes we forget how young of a company they are. So I've got a few more out with them right now. I'm anxious to see if they do better on their turnaround times than what they've done so far up to this point. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think right now I've got a 10-day out with them, a 30-day, and 2 60 days. And then I have another one that I actually got back, but then I had to send back because there was some, I don't want to say warping of the cases, but they were a little concave. It looked like from when they were pressing. So I just sent all those back to get re-slabbed. It was no real big deal. So I should be getting those back, and I'll be doing a reveal video on those pretty soon. So there you have it, guys. HGA, I've made some posts online. I'll say it here. They have by far the best customer service in the game. You go with some of these other companies, SGC, it's probably the closest, I would say. I haven't actually ever tried to reach out to them, but their turnaround times right now are just insane. It's a shame that this slab doesn't come from them, because that would be the best of both worlds. But even CSG is pretty good from a customer response perspective, but they're not really looking to help out in any way. They're just kind of like, this is the deal and deal with it or else. And then PSA and Beckett obviously are just completely non-responsive. So to have somebody, where the owner is so interested in correcting the issue that he reaches out to you, has his assistant reach out to you, does whatever he can to make it right, I think that goes a long way, and should go a long way with collectors, that there's somebody actually in the game that does this and understands the issues that people have with the industry in its current state, and are willing to go above and beyond to try to change that. So with that said, there you go. Super satisfied. Flawless Baker Mayfield. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to put this up and show it off. And that's it. So I will talk to you guys later. If you like the video content, please subscribe to the channel. I've also got a Facebook group where I do some breaks every Friday night. So, want to look that up. It's on Facebook, Deviation Sports Cards. I would appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. See ya.